We are beginning with prayer. Om, Om, Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्नमिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चितं च चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापित्यत सर्वं त्रिलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्ददामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुवन्ति दैवैः स्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुषुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुच. And with this we will continue Dhyan, and after the Dhyan we will continue uh, the study of the Gita together. Om, Om, Om. We stop at stanza number 30, chapter 10. Its creator and the one who is maintaining that. In that course of discussion, we have also seen that the ray of light from sun reaches the earth in two different time zones. The earth clock would record about 8.25 minutes. The clock on the ray would record 0 minute. We also gave a drastic example. The gravitational waves by the collision of two thousands of times bigger suns, when they became black holes, the gravitational waves took 10.5 billion years, according to Earth clock, to reach here. According to the clock on the waves, recorded 0 time. This is the beauty created by Krishna for the entire universe, which has fed tons of Nobel laureates studying the physical principles of the universe. They only believe in physics. Some of them believe in the creator of that physics also. But now we are cruising to the end of this chapter. And since there is so much impressive glories going on in this chapter, Arjun was captivated that, hey, how about seeing him personally with all these glories? So we are preparing for that jump. So let's cruise meanwhile in this chapter. Prahladaha cha asmi. I'm Prahlad. Daityanam. Daityoni andar hu Prahlad chum. Kalaha kalayatam aham. This kalayatam, it is from kala dhatu, which is Pelagan Atmanepad. So it is kala kalati, kalate. But amazingly, it is also Dasmogan, which would take ya in the middle, in fix. So that is why there is ya here. And when it is Dasmogan, it is both Parasmaipad and Atmanepad. So it is Kalayati or Kalayate. Amazing verb here he is using. Mruganam chamu mrugendraha aham. Pashuvani andar hu sinchum. I'm lion in all the beast. Vainate yaha. Son of Vinat is called Vainateya. which is Garud, Vishnu's Vahan. Vainateyaha cha Pakshinam. Among the Pakshis, among the birds, I'm Garuda. Now you may think like one time he said, Samosmi sarvabhuteshu, name dveshyasti na priyaha. I'm equal in all existences, none is dear, none hated. Why in the world he is in many stanzas picking up the only superior of the two comparisons? Does it mean that he is not in Mruganam? He is not in Daityanam? Is he playing partiality here? He didn't say that I am not in them. He is in them as well. But to claim the superiority, that there is none other superior to me, he is picking up the superior phrases. So there should be no misunderstanding here. Pavanaha pavanatasmi. Pavata means purifier. Of purifiers I am the wind. Ramaha shastabhrutom aham. He is giving example of Ram. Whoever has the weapons, among them I am Ram. What is the significance of Ram here? If you have read Ramayana very thoroughly, Ram never used his Dhanush and Ban for any meaningless purpose. He was a very controlled figure and never exhibiting the power of his bow and arrows. That is why he's giving that example, that I am the controlled, even though I am mighty, mightier than the mighties, but I am controlled. અત્યારે તો બધા now everywhere they threaten that, hey, if you do something, I have the nuclear weapon. Those kind of people. Ram never said that, hey, if you do this thing, I have this bow and arrow. Jasanam makaraha cha asmi. Masliomam shark chu. Among the fish, I'm shark. Srotamam asmi janavi. And in all the flows of water, I'm Jahnavi. There was a Muni Jahnu. And when Bhagirath was taking Ganga, some water might have damaged Jahnu's backyard. These are the stories of the fantastic Puranas. Puranas are for teenager people, very tantalizing. We are going to use that example and somebody would say, oh, how can that happen? But Purans are for teenagers, for getting thrills out of that. So this Jahnu movie swallowed the whole Ganga river. We may ask, how did he swallow? It was not a couple of glasses of water, it was a whole river. He swallowed. Then Bhagirath persuaded Janu Muni, uh, that, hey, please have mercy. I'm doing this for some good reasons. So then Jahanu took out that Ganga from his ear. And I'm not making up these stories, but these are all in the Puranas. And Puranas are very tantalizing, thrilling scriptures. Uh, you have to use your interpretation and intelligence in understanding and interpreting these things. So Jahnu, that is how Ganga came out from Jahnu's ear. So that is why she became his daughter, and that is why the name became Jahnavi. So he is giving all these kind of examples. And Krishna is a real good talker. He uses a very captivating language. Sarganam Adihi Antah cha Madhya cha eva aham Arjuna. Of the creations, I am the beginning and the end and also the middle. Hey Arjun, Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vadaha Pravadatam Aham. Of the knowledge, I am the knowledge about the self, the big self. And in the debate, I am the reason, tarka. So he's picking up all this superiority business, and we are going through that. But he's even incy-bincy examples he's covering. So there is nothing left out here. Aksaranam akaraha aham asmi dvandvaha samasikasya cha aham eva akshayah kalaha data aham visvataha mukhaha. So he's saying, of the letters, I am the letter capital A. And of word compounds, the compounds, there is, for example, we have sandhi, but sandhi, when we do the sandhi of two or more words, in the connections, where the connections happen, the words get some transformations according to very logical rules of sandhi. But in compounds, when they meet together, there is no transformation. For example, he's using the dvandva samas. There are names like dvandva, avyayi bhav, bahuvrihi. Those are the types of samas. And according to how they meet, there is the name come out. But in dvandva samas, the two words join and there is no inferior or superior or subordinate and superior kind of status of those words coming together. For example, Rama Lakshmana. Ram and Lakshman, they have equal status when they combine. And that is why it is called Dvandva Samas. In other samases, one is playing superior role and other is subordinate role. So that is why he is giving example of dvandva samas, that I am among the samas, I am dvandva. Ahameva akshaya kalaha. I am also inexhaustible time, the time which never exhausts. Data aham viswata mukha. And I am the dispenser of the actions through many, many mouths. Mrityuhu sarvaharaha cha aham udbhavaha cha bhavishyatam kirtihi srihi vakyanarinam smrutihi medas drutihi kshama. So he's kind of counting here so many things. And I am the all-devouring death. I am the prosperity of those who are to be prosperous. And in the second line, he's counting some female qualities, feminine qualities. He's lauding them. He is speaking very highly of them. The female qualities, I'm fame, fortune, speech, memory, intelligence, stability. Like dhruti, it means when the shaky time comes, the person never gets shaken. So that quality is me also. And forbearance, that is kshama. So all those qualities are mine. Bruhatsam tata samna gayatri chandasam aham. Now he is talking about Samved, and among the Samved, in the Samved there is Bruhat Sam. There are names of various kind of Sam. I am the Bruhat Sam, Gayatri Chandasam aham. And among the Chand, I am Gayatri Chand. Masanam Margashirshaha aham. Rutunam Kusumakaraha. Among the months, I'm Margashirsha. This is the period of December, January. And in those months, there is a period called Brahma Muhurta. And if you are yogi, you do sadhana in the Brahma Muhurta. Rutunam Kusumakaraha. And in the season, I'm the one which creates flowers like Vasant. Dyutam chalayatam asmi. Chalayatam chatti vibhakti bahuvachan. Dyutam chalayatam asmi. Among the fraudulents, I am gambling. So the art of gambling is he is saying. And is he favoring gambling? No, he is not favoring gambling. He is flavoring the intelligence involved in playing that gambling. So we have to really understand the part which he is talking about. Tejaha tejasvinam aham. Tejasvinam. Je tejasvi manaso je che. Of the splendid. Tejasvi. Tejaha aham. I am the tej, I am the splendor of the those people having splendor. Jayaha Asmi, I am the victory. Vyavasayaha Asmi, and the busyness is me. Sattvam Swatvatam Aham, and I am the goodness of the good. So he is speaking all this glorifying thing, what he is. One of the thing is Sri Krishna did not speak in a short language. He's a talker. He liked to speak. That is, we definitely observe in this stanza. And the way he's speaking is also amusing and also thrilling experience, you know. So just kind of continue enjoying this stanza. Vrishninam Vasudeva Asmi. Vrishnuyani under Vasudev Chung. Among the Vrishnis, I'm Vasudeva. Pandavanam Dhananjaya. And among the Pandavas, I am Dhananjaya, Arjun. You might have by now sorted out why in the world he did not choose Yudhishthir, why he did not choose Bhim or other people in the Pandavas. He chose Dhananjaya. Muninam api aham vyasaha. અને મુનિઓની અંદર હું વ્યાસ છું. I am Vyas among the munis. Kavinam, કવિઓની અંદર I am Ushana Kavihi. Ushan was a big name and his name is also cited here. So by citing this example, what he is saying, that all those big names was also because of me. Dandaha Damayatam Asmi. Among the Punisher, I am the Danda. Nitihi Asmi Jigishatam. And among those who seek victory, I am the statesmanship means to use the rules properly. Maunam cha eva asmi guhyanam gnanam gnanavatam aham. And of the secret, I am also silence, and I am the wisdom of the wise. So if there is secret, then you want to keep silence. Yacha api sarva bhutanam bijam tad aham arjuna natada asti vina yatsyan maya bhutam characharam. And whatever is the seed of all these beings, that I am, hey Arjun. There is no being, whether moving or unmoving, characharam. There is no being, whether moving or unmoving, that can exist without me. So he is kind of giving a lot of examples. Na antaha asti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa. He parantap, મારી દિવ્ય વિભૂતિનો કોઈ અંત નથી. Hey Parantap, there is no end of my divine glories. Eshaha tu uddeshataha. All this is a very short version. આટલું બધું બોલે છે અને છતાં કહે છે કે આ શોર્ટ વર્ઝન છે. હજુ તો લાંબુ વર્ઝન કેવું થતું હશે? We will see that in chapter 11. Proktah vibhutehe vistarah maya. આ બધું મેં કહ્યું એ તો જરા ટૂંકાણમાં જ કહ્યું છે તને. એટલે તો જુઓ તો ખરા, હજુ ક્યારનું ચાલ્યા કરે છે તોય કહે છે કે ટૂંકાણમાં કહ્યું. So that is how he is. Yad vibhuti, yad vibhutim sattvam srimad urjitam eva va tattadadev avagacha. Avagacha means understand. Tvam mama tejonsha asambhavam. Tejonsha sambhavam. Whatever being that is glorious, yadyad vibhutim sattvam, whatever being that is glorious, prosperous or powerful, know that to have sprung but from a spark of my splendor. જરાક તણખામાંથી જ આ બધું થયેલું છે, આખો તો નહીં હજુ. That is what he is saying. અંશ સંભવમ, એક મારું સ્પાર્કલમાંથી આ બધું છે. સો ઇમેજિન, એ તો કહ્યું કે હજુ તો આ થોડું કહ્યું, વળી કહ્યું કે જરા સ્પાર્કલમાંથી જ છે, એટલે આ હિન્ટ આપી જાય છે. He is giving the hints that, hey, don't think that this is what I am the whole thing. It is only a sparkle of me. So he is giving the warning also who I am. Athva bahuna etena kim gnatena tava arjuna. અને આ ફ્રેન્ડની ભાષા આવી અહીંયા. પહેલા હું ગુજરાતીમાં બોલીશ ને પછી ઇંગ્લિશ ટ્રાન્સલેશનમાં કહીશ. અરે ભાઈ અર્જુન, તું હવે બહુ જાણીને શું કરવાનો? અથવા બહુના એતેન કિમ જ્ઞાતેન તવ અર્જુન. And Arjun, what would you do by knowing more than what I have said? Vishtabhya aham idam krutsnam ekanshena sthitah jagatam. Are bhai, I'm holding this entire cosmos by one અંશ. એક અંશથી ધારણ કરેલું છે. See the dadagiri, see in the final words he is saying, hey, આટલું લાંબુ કહ્યું એ તો ટૂંકું કહેલું છે. All this long narratives is nothing, but is very short. There is so much there. So he is giving the hint, he is giving the warning here. And that is the end of this chapter here. But one of the alarming things he is leaving at the end of the chapter is, hey, this is nothing I have told you yet. I'm holding this entire cosmos just by little support. So who am I, the whole thing? Would you be able to understand? No, you would not be able to understand that. So I'm giving you everything in the short version. He has given the strongest hint in the last couple of stanzas. He's preparing for chapter 11. He's very mathematical. He's very methodological here. He's not telling this last couple of stanzas in the beginning, he has said so much. And at the end, he come and say, oh, this is nothing I'm saying. So that is the end of this chapter. I think this is going to put many of us in dhyan. Many of us will mumble in the mind, oh man, oh man. He is absolutely the Supreme One. Whose dhyan then I will be doing? No doubt, of course. If we want to hold somebody in dhyan, definitely we will hold the most Supreme One. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Supnisatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vibhuti Yoga Nama Dasamo Adhyaya. In the Upanishad of the Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge of Brahman, the Supreme, the science of yoga, and the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, this is the 10th discourse designated the yoga of divine manifestation. Dhanyavad, 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 Sri Krishna. We are touching the Vishwarupa Darshan Yoga, the yoga of vision of the cosmos form. Now, for long, Arjuna has stopped asking the question. He is just loudly praising the glories. Mad anugrahaya, out of compassion to me. મારા ઉપર કૃપા કરીને. Mad anugrahaya paramam gruhyam adhyatma sankshitam. Yat tvaya uktam. This is going in passive voice. જે તમારા વડે બોલાયું, જે તમારા વડે whatever you spoke, vachah, tena moha ayam vigataha mama. By that my moha, my delusion is gone. So it is in passive voice. By this profound discourse concerning the self, paramam guhyam adhyatma sankshitam. By this profound discourse concerning the self, yad tvaya uktam, which you have delivered out of compassion for me, mad anugrahaya, my delusion has been dispelled. So he is so polite here. He is beginning the sentence, mad anugrahaya, compassion for me, out of compassion for me. He is polite here. Whatever you have said so far, my delusion is gone. Moha ayam vigataha mama. Everything is in passive voice. Bhava api ayau hi bhutanam srutau vistarashaha maya. Now he is making a big request here. Tvattaha kamala patraksha. કમળની પાંદડી જેવી આંખ. Lotus petal eyes. Tvattah kamala patraksha mahatmyam api cha avyayam. From you, O lotus-eyed, have been heard by me in detail of the origin and dissolution, the beginning and the end. I have heard from your eye, from your ear, from your mouth, also your inexhaustible greatness. Cha avyayam. Avyayam means inexhaustible. Mahatmyam api. Mahatmyam means greatness. I have heard all this from you. And there is a request coming here. Evam etad yathatha. Evam etad yatha atha. Atha means has been declared, has been spoken. Evam etad yatha. As you have declared yourself to be, so it is, O Supreme Lord. Drashtum ichchami te rupam aishwaram purushottam. A busy line my request આવી. There is a request here. O Lord Supreme, I desire to see your Ishvara form, O Purushottam. See, in the first line, he says Parameshwara. In the second line, he is saying Purushottama. He is not saying now Keshava or Madhava. Look at the names he has assigned now to Sri Krishna. These names are divine now. The previous names were the friendly names. See how the language is changing. We have to be very careful about this minute business going on. Then really we derive the true enjoyment, true thrilling feeling. Oh, he is Parmeshwar. Oh, he is Purushottam. Hey Purushottam, hey Supreme Lord. I desire to see your Ishvara form. Tvam Atmanam, Ishvara form. Je che tu te mare jovu che. What you are, that is what I want to see. Now the request coming. And oh man, oh man. Of course, that has taken long time. Manyase yadi. If you think so, that is what he is beginning. If you think, what is he talking about if you think? Manyase yadi yat shakyam. If you believe, if it is possible, now see the requesting words here. Manyase yadi yat shakyam. Oh Lord, if you think it is possible for me, Maya means me, also passive voice. Maya drashtum iti prabho. Yogeshwara tataha me tvam darshayatmanam avyayam. Oh Lord, if you think it is possible for me to see it, then do, O Lord of Yoga. See all these words here coming? First line has Prabhu, is the Atmi Vibhakti of Prabhu. Prabhu, hey Prabhu. Biji line ma Yogeshwar. In the previous stanza, we have seen this kind of divine labels for Sri Krishna. We should never think that only Krishna has the mastery over language. Even Arjuna has mastery over language. These two people are unbelievable combination. So he has presented the request here, and we will one last stanza to have tantalizing experience, and then we will stop here. Pashyame partha rupani shatasaha atha सहस्त्रः सह. अरे भाई हे पार्थ, 100 गणा दृश्यो जो, अरे 1000 गणा जो. हे पार्थ, see my forms in 100 ways or in 1,000 ways. What a stanza is this? It's a thunderbolt. Anybody would knock out. By the offer now Sri Krishna is making, Pashyame Partha Rupani. Hey Parth, see my forms, Rupani, in 100 ways, in 1,000 ways. Nana vidani divyani nana varna krutini cha. And 100 ways, 1,000 ways, what to see? Manifold and divine and of multicolors and shapes. So he has started, he has begun what you are going to see. Nana vidani, varieties of ways, of many, many colors, of many, many forms, you will now see. So in order to get the full thrilling feeling, we will leave this stanza 5 in suspense here. What Nana Vidani and what colors he is talking about. So we will continue for those experiences in the following stanzas. So we make a stop here, and we can go over any questions, dilemma, confusion, whatever. And after that, we will have the Gita Friends meeting. So let's see if you have any. Arjun has stopped asking now. So we all have a lot of room to ask the question. I think we should do him a favor, because he's moving ahead and ahead. And look like from the last lecture of the multitude of clocks in the universe, maybe you are spellbound now. Your mind may be saying, oh no, mama moha nirgataha. મારો મોહ જતો રહ્યો, હવે મન શાંત થઈ ગયું, કોઈ સવાલ નથી, જે દ્રશ્ય બતાવવાનું હોય તે બતાવી દે. That's perfectly okay. That is really the goal of the Gita. Gita is approaching the stage when there will be no question. And I'm saying ahead of time. And suppose there is any question incipiency left out at the end of the Gita. My friend, go back to the first stanza and go through all the 700 stanzas again until you find the answer of that incipiency thing in your head. Remember, I have said many times that Gita is a theoretical physics. And to swallow the metal nuggets would be easier than theoretical physics. I'm not exaggerating. Beyond the PhD, the level of physics, it is almost touching the divinity because physics has come directly from the divinity. And so it is not easy. If that physics is not easy, don't think that this Gita, which is the theoretical physics, is easy. Read it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times, as many times. I guarantee you will always enjoy, you will never get bored. You will always have better and better understanding. That is the beauty of the Gita. We are so lucky we have this scripture here. And it was well preserved. All those 700 stanzas, not a single modification has occurred. It is as spoken by Krishna and as written by Vyas. We are lucky, lucky, lucky. So many other scriptures, they always get some transformation according to time and according to the various dharma gurus or whatever. But in our Gita, not so. We are a little bit further away from the middle of the Gita. And when I see the end approaching, then I have a little, it's a combination of two feelings, the great exuberant feeling, but as well as, oh no, Gita will be over soon, mixed feeling. I'm only expressing my personal feelings. You may as well express yours if you have. You don't have to just ask me a question. You can express your own feelings, you know. And that's perfectly okay. The reason is we are sitting here together to enjoy together. So definitely we can speak out anything that we have in our head. Chandrakant Bhai, you were saying something.
Amrit Bhai, this might sound a little silly, but we are taught to be humble, we are taught to be not bragging, and Bhagwan Shri Krishna is bragging all through here. How do we reconcile those two factors?
What other way you think his supremacy could be expressed?
I understand that. Of course, that is the that is the way he's expressing his supremacy. And I'm not, you already conveyed that, but to a person who wants to knock down or criticize our scripture, this would be a point that they can drag into to discuss further. But yeah, I understand. I have no problem with it at all whatsoever, because I'm a Hindu myself. I know what it is. But to someone who is not familiar with our culture, this would seem somewhat bragging. And is there a simple way to explain this to somebody?
If there is golden nugget, diamond in a hand, and in another hand there is a lump of clay, the diamond would not speak through his mouth, but at the same time somebody else would speak about diamond. But here there is not a third person beyond Sri Krishna. And even if there was a third person, he would not have been superior to Sri Krishna, who could have narrated everything that Sri Krishna is narrating. Impossible, because there is none superior to him. That is number one thing. Number two, when you will go more and more in dhyan, you will only see your own drawbacks. Because in dhyan, you don't see anybody else. So worrying about the others is a moot point here. When we are moving in the spiritual path, spiritual path is you. First, you means your mind. When the mind goes to rest, atmani eva atmana tishtaha, then your chetana only. And when you are very close to the big self, your chetana is also diminishing. Who is there? We live so much in the world, that is the problem. The path of yoga is alone. If we will spend time what others say, how would we then move from mind to chetana, from chetana to the big self, and then in the total samadhi? How? If by paying attention to what the hell the other people are saying, we are doing a big damage to our yoga process. If we can afford that, fine, no problem. One of the things Buddha has taught is his preaching has a single most message. Never let your mind be reactive. આ જગતમાં એટલા બધા પ્રસંગો બને છે કે માઇન્ડને નવરાશ નથી, તરત જ રિએક્ટિવ થાય. Try even for a day. અહીંયા બહુ જોવા નથી, ઇન્ડિયામાં બહુ જોવા મળે. કોઈ બાણામાં ખૂબ ગાળો તમને દઈ દે, ખૂબ. અને તમે પુષ્કળ શક્તિશાળી છો, એકી સાથે 25 માણસને ઝાપટ મારી શકો એવા છો. Now follow Buddha. No reaction in the mind. Even though you are physically, mentally, economically powerful person, no reaction in the mind. I like this preaching so much. And that is the heart of all the religion. Why did Christianity says forgive everybody? They are speaking Buddhism here. They are speaking no reaction in the mind, because that is the big hindrance in your yoga process. This is worth trying. The day you will stop reactions of the surrounding happenings, you will be the most happy person in the world. You are the most sukhi person in the world. Because nothing bothers you. I hope I have translated the answer for Chandrakant Bhai.
Yes, thank you, Amrita.
Does it give you the answer? What I wanted to say, let the world go on its own. Let me give you an example. In Surat, there was a big Congress meeting which was presided by not that time Maharshi, but Arvind. He was the leader for the Congress. And everybody proposed. Gandhi was nobody. And Mercy Arvind was leading. The Congress said, you lead this satyagraha or whatever process that we want to adopt. And that was the last Congress he attended. He gave the reply that my mind has been cooled down. I am in the path of yoga. For this movement, you will need an active mind. Active means reactive mind. Something happen and you do these things. Something then again happen and you do that thing. That is called a reactive mind. Yogis have no mind. Their goal is different. Their goal, the lay people will think that, oh man, this person is losing all the glory, the fame by leading the nation. No, he has much higher goal in the entire spectrum of the universe, not in the spectrum of the country, the smaller thing. This is the this is like the way we want to live in the world as well as we want to progress in the yoga. You will have to be slowly detach yourself. Less speaking, less mingling with the crowd. Speak only the useful words. Don't get involved in the social commotion. Anything that is against the yoga process, you will have to weed that out. If you want to progress in the yoga, and what are we doing here? This is not a social gathering. This is together we want to gain the knowledge how to, and I'm going to give another example, how to move in the yoga process. Many times I think Siddhartha was born in a palace. He only saw old men, dead men, and one with a disease. Do you know how much clumsy life we have? We see so many dilemmas in our life and the society and everywhere. Zillion of problems. That what Buddha, what Siddhartha saw was nothing. And many times I question myself, even without seeing the misery of life. Siddhartha had no misery of life. Just by seeing the three examples, which are just a routine for ourselves. We see that every day. And we are still clinging here. And he jumped out. He was a ripened fruit. He just needed a little wind. For us, there are a lot of avajodas, still we are hanging tightly. Oh no, my people, my so and so. ચંદ્રકાંતભાઈ, હવે તમને કોઈ દાડો આ સવાલ આવવાનો નથી કે બીજાની પંચાયતીમાં આપણે શું કરવાનું. તે લોકોનો ધંધો. That is their business. Let us move in our quiet world.
Thank you.
Any more? Yes, PJ. You have something?
Yeah, I have a question. How come Arjun was selected instead of Yudhishthira when Yudhishthira was known as a Dharma Raja for this such a divine message? Why that message was not narrated to Yudhishthira? Why Arjun was selected?
He was so much hung up, like he spoke half sentence અશ્વત્થામા હતા. પછી રહેવાયું નહીં એનાથી. હું તો ધર્મરાજા, હું જૂઠું કેમ કરીને બોલું? એટલે પાછળથી કહ્યું ધીમેથી, નરોવા કુંજરોવા. There was the status, I am Yudhishthira. I cannot say Aswathama Hata. Arjun is Arjun. By now, I think he should have become our hero. So I believe. Look at his, the way his language is changing, his behavior is changing, you know. All of that like a childlike personality, you know. It is only an analytic question. You just have to go through some analytics and you will get the answer even better than I have given you. You should have asked the question, why why not Arjun? By all means, he's the only one there. He's the only one who sat back in the chariot. Oh, I'm not going to kill. Nobody else did that. Bhishma could have done that. Duryodhana could have done that. He was the only person to have that guts to tell Sri Krishna, I am not going to fight. Can you imagine, after how much preparation, all that thousands of army, and he says, I am not going to fight. He had the compassion for everybody. I am not going to kill them. Yudhishthira could have done that. Bhim would never do that. Drona could have done that. I cannot kill my Shishyas. There were a lot of people who could have done that. And the way people have interpreted in the Gita, that, oh, Arjun had a little cowardice. Oh, he sunk in the back of the chariot. I have always said કે આખી ગીતાની અંદર એના જેવો હીરો બીજો કોઈ નથી. He is so much heroic. He had the guts to sit back in the and challenge even Krishna. Hey Krishna, I am not going to fight. No. Such a hero is rare to find. Who had all the powers, even one arrow would have killed the whole army on the opposite side. He had that strength. Instead of showing their ego, he exhibited the supreme compassion. Why not Gita be narrated to him then? Definitely. And why not among the Pandavas, Dhananjaya? I admire Krishna. I admire Arjun wholeheartedly. Such combination would be rarer than rare. Any time. PJ, I am not walking over you.
No, I have a question here though,
Yeah.
from what you said, because the same situation was, it was there, at the time of Virat, uh, the when he had to, save Virat, Nagri, when Duryodhan, uh, invaded over Virat, to find, the Agnatwas, it was the same situation. Same people were fighting against him, but that situation did not arise at that time. But this time, because only Krishna was with him, this thing came out, I mean, what?
That time there was only Duryodhan. This time there were millions of army unnecessary being a massacre. Like instead of fighting with the sword, if somebody uses atomic bomb, it was that type of difference. That was only, and on the other hand, they had to maintain their secrecy also. And the opposite side, there was only Duryodhan. And the third thing, it was the command of Yudhishthir. He ordered Arjun to take care of that, and he took care of that, So it was an entirely different, uncomparable situation. Please do not argue for Arjun. He is my personal favorite hero. He is.
Well, you said that if you have any illusion or any question, ask. Here we are,
I admire you. I admire you wholeheartedly since 1965. You are simply maintaining the attributes which Prakash Thakur had in 1965. I've seen you from that time.
This question came out of this, one incident happened, in
That is,
Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, they went to, that, one, and then they wanted to have the water, and they went to the, that, lake, and one by one, everybody, somebody was asking a question, you answered the question, or otherwise, you won't get the, uh, water, or you die, or whatever, And at that time, finally, only Yudhishthira could save all them,
I never said that you should never ask the question. I always say that please continue that, that is what I'm saying.
So Amrit Bhai, you change your hero to Prakash Bhai from Arjun.
Well, the problem, Chandrakant Bhai, is when there is Vidyarthi, an old time, you have to maintain that relationship. So there is maybe a little bit of bias here.
I admire that concept. Very nice.
You are like my older brother, and he is still my Vidyarthi.
Okay.
We always have fun with you.
Instead of Shishya giving respect to the teacher has learned to give the respect to Shishya. So I'm just kind of giving him adequate respect. Very good going on. Somebody else has any question, or else we will go to closing prayer and, look like we have enough fun going on. But those Sanskrit people, please stay after this prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhave Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Mamrutam Gamaya Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. So with this, the Sanskrit study, the Gita study is going for the following sessions.
Thank you, Amrit Bhai.
You are most welcome. I'm closing the session.